Mr Deputy President, 11th to the 17th of October is Anti-Poverty Week 2015, but for too many people, every week is Poverty Week. Poverty is experienced in homelessness, chronic underemployment and underemployment, and yes, here in Australia, as hunger and malnutrition. It's experienced in the Centrelink queues, in those who seek emergency assistance from charities and non-government services. Many of them, as Anglicare's State of the Family 2015 report makes clear, repeatedly and regularly, rather than as a one-off crisis. It is seen in the faces of children who, according to NCOS's 2014 report, represent 1 in 5 of the 900,000 people in New South Wales who live in poverty. According to the Australian Council of Social Service, Poverty in Australia report of 2014, New South Wales is one of the 3 states with the greatest risk of poverty at 14.6% and at 15% for Sydney, having the highest risk of any capital city. Addressing poverty also requires us to look at the problem of inequality. As reported in the ACOS Inequality Report of June this year, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. In our current real estate boom, our New South Wales coffers are enjoying the windfall of massive increases in stamp duty, while it is the disadvantaged bearing the collateral damage. The market price for rentals across the board is increasing to give new investors reasonable returns and further excluding more people from the rental market. So what is it like for those who are vulnerable to poverty? They overcrowd in already overcrowded family homes. In the absence of sufficient public housing, they sleep in cars and parks, they couch surf. Their slim chances of employment diminish. Their physical and mental health and well-being are diminished. Their access to services is diminished. Without the security of shelter, it is near impossible to engage with the requirements of government. The people affected by poverty are much more than the stereotypes and most visible faces of poverty. They are increasingly older single women and women fleeing domestic violence, and with the loss of refuges, they are desperate. They are Aboriginal people, refugees, overseas students. They are young people who are struggling to find a job and confronted with a federal government that expects them to get by on nothing while they wait for Newstart. They are the people who are disadvantaged or vulnerable, but who deserve the same opportunities to pursue their goals and the same level of well-being as everyone else in our society. And if we fail to help them, then they are our collective shame. The Anti-Poverty Week, ACOS, and all of its state and territory counterparts, including NCOS, are calling for a national plan to address poverty and inequality. At a minimum, the plan should include a clear target to reduce the numbers of people living below the poverty line, an increase in the unemployment benefit by at least $50 per week, as well as an increase in the sole parent benefit, an increase in Commonwealth rent assistance for low-income households, an increase in the supply of affordable housing, and more jobs and more assistance for the long-term unemployed. While the nation's social service sector stands ready to work with the Commonwealth and state and territory governments to develop an effective anti-poverty plan, the Greens stand ready to work with the Government of New South Wales and the wider community to develop a plan to address the growth of poverty to support these communities most affected by poverty. Achieving this will rely on a whole-of-government approach that is firmly based on social justice principles. I welcome this House support for my motion this week, calling on the government to give consideration to the recommendations of the New South Wales Council of Social Service in their pre-budget submission, which was launched on Monday. It identifies 7 key priorities to significantly improve the lives of people experiencing poverty, which require investment in housing and homelessness, domestic and family violence, disability, children, youth and families, employment, mental health and transport. The success of this state must be judged by how many or how few people are being left behind. More must be done to address poverty. It can't be fixed in 1 week. For all of us in this parliament, every week must be Anti-Poverty Week, and we must prioritise caring for those who need it most.
Thank you, Mr Deputy President. The week